Today, we look at a boxer who, while short in stature, packed a significant punch. How good was the Barbados Demon, Barbados Joe Walcott? Joe Walcott was born on March 13, 1873, in Demerara, Guyana, but spent most of his childhood in Barbados. Walcott stood 5 feet 1.5 and had a 65-inch reach. He had an aggregate weight of 142 pounds for his career. Walcott's career spanned from 1892 to 1911. He had 87 wins, 24 losses, and 24 draws. 57 of his wins were by knockout. He also had 1 no contest. His win percentage was 65 and his knockout percentage was 41. Joe Walcott is one of the greatest welterweights in boxing history. Walcott was a relentless fighter and used his short stature to his advantage. Walcott was a vicious body puncher, and his size allowed him an advantage over taller fighters. Walcott's first significant action came on March 1, 1895, when he fought to a draw against 2-time world welterweight champion Mysterious Billy Smith. Smith was considered one of boxing's dirtiest fighters during his time. On December 2, 1895, Walcott took on George "Kid" Levine. The fight had a stipulation that if Walcott couldn't knock out Levine, he would lose via decision. Walcott was the better fighter and won most of the 15 rounds, but could not knock out Levine. In a later interview, Walcott also stated that he was forced to give Levine half of his purse regardless of the outcome. Walcott didn't have to wait long before another opportunity to fight for a title. After drawing with Mysterious Billy Smith again in April of 1898, he and Smith met again on December 6 of the same year for the world welterweight title. Walcott lost a 20-round decision, again failing to secure the title. On February 23, 1900, Walcott faced off against one of boxing's biggest ever punchers, the California Terror Joe Koinski. Walcott was a foot shorter than Koinski, but went blow for blow. Walcott used his excellent bodywork to break one of Koinski's ribs and sent him to the canvas multiple times before the referee stopped the fight in the 7th round. After fighting and defeating Mysterious Billy Smith twice in 1900, Walcott's next primary matchup was with welterweight young Peter Jackson, who got his name from great black heavyweight Peter Jackson. The fight went down on November 28, 1901. Walcott dropped Jackson twice in the 15th round before cruising to a 20-round decision. On December 12, 1901, Walcott finally captured the elusive world welterweight title when he dominated Rube Ferns, dropping him twice en route to a 5th-round TKO. After fighting to a draw with young Peter Jackson in March of 1902, Walcott set his sights on the Hall of Fame light heavyweight Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. The two men squared off on April 11, 1902, with O'Brien winning a 6-round decision over the smaller Walcott. After failing in a bid for the colored heavyweight championship in 1902, Walcott rematched Philadelphia Jack O'Brien on April 20, 1903. The two men fought to a 10-round draw. Walcott faced Dixie Kid on April 29, 1904, with the World Welterweight Championship at stake. Walcott was winning the fight against Kid but was disqualified for a kidney punch in the final round. It was later revealed that the referee for the contest had a side bet on Dixie Kid winning. On September 5, 1904, Walcott stepped in the ring with another fighter who had claimed to being the best of all time, the Boston Bone Crusher Sam Langford, with the world welterweight title on the line. This was a back-and-forth fight that saw both men exchanging heavy blows. Langford proved to be the better boxer as he countered Walcott's aggressive bursts. The viewing audience felt Langford won the decision, but the fight was ultimately ruled a draw. 2 fights later, on September 30, 1904, Walcott stepped in with one of the greatest lightweights of all time in Joe Gans. The two men clashed stylistically, with Gans using his boxing and movement, while Walcott used his strength and athleticism. The fight was ruled a draw after 20 rounds. On October 15, 1905, Walcott would lose his world welterweight title after dropping a 15-round decision to Honey Melody in Massachusetts. The two men immediately rematched, with Melody stopping Walcott in the 15th round after an arm injury rendered Walcott ineffective. The now aging Walcott continued to fight on, winning some and losing more, but could never recapture his championship form before retiring in 1911. Walcott shared the ring with some of the greatest small and large fighters during his time and proved to have a big enough punch to trouble all, regardless of his small stature, as he was a stocky, explosive fighter. Walcott faced 7 Hall of Famers. His most notable fights were against Mysterious Billy Smith, George Kid Levine, Joe Koinski, Young Peter Jackson, Dixie Kid, Sam Langford, Joe Gans, and Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. Barbados Joe Walcott died on October 1, 1935, at 62. As far as small fighters, he is one of the greatest of all time. He packed enough punch to knock out heavyweights as a welterweight. He cemented his legacy by being willing to take on all challenges. There is no video of Walcott in action, but we have stories of his ring escapades documented in writing. Walcott was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1991.